Or impeachment battle. President Trump is slamming Democrats over talk of impeachment, accusing the party of getting nothing done in Congress. The president talking about the Democrat response to the Mueller report just yesterday. Watch.
Well, there's never been a president more transparent. The Mueller report came out, no obstruction, no collusion, no nothing. It's a beautiful report. The Democrats cannot understand what happened. They really thought they had some people on their side because, as you know, the people doing the investigation were 18 extremely angry Democrats, many of whom worked for Hillary Clinton and supported Hillary Clinton. And Bob Mueller, I guess you could say he wasn't a friend of mine, but he did something that was really the right thing to do. They were very disappointed. They can't get over the fact that never spoke to Russia, never dealt with Russia, having to do with the subject we're talking about.
Joining me right now is former U.S. Attorney and Avenue Strategies partner Bud Cummins. Bud, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your reaction to all of this? Here we've got the president still talking, the media still talking about the Mueller report, even though what the president said was true, no collusion. They're trying to, I guess, muddy the waters because they don't want to see William Barr pursue what he said he would, and that is investigating the investigators from the 2016 election.
Yeah, they're trying to stop the Attorney General from doing what the Attorney General should do and go backwards and try to see what happened in all these investigations, because the Department of Justice lives on its credibility, and it has really been tainted by the way the Hillary email investigation was conducted, the events that led up to the Mueller investigation. And I think there's actually some problems with the Mueller investigation. You and I were having discussions, I don't know, 16 months ago. We didn't know what we didn't know, but now we know. We were right on point. There was no collusion. Why did that investigation take 2 years? At what point did Mueller know that the investigation was based on false accusations, and why did the investigation keep going so long?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was asking right after the Mueller report was distributed, because he had to know very soon into it that there was no collusion, and yet we didn't know until well after the November elections, the midterm elections. But do you think there's going to be accountability here, and do you think that the impeachment effort will be successful?
Well, no, you know, I think the impeachment effort will not be successful. There's nothing to impeach him for. I think politically it'll be a bad idea. But the point, I think the main point is Congress is not doing anything.
Yeah.
We've got so many important problems in this country that Congress needs to be addressing. Border security is, you know, probably at the top of the list. And they're choosing to argue over these make-believe arguments. You know, first it was collusion, and when that turned out to be a bald-faced lie, then they turned to what the Attorney General's just trying to deceive us, which was ridiculous. And now that, you know, they're on some kind of a cover-up theme, but it's all made up, and they're trying to build a smokescreen, and they want to try to hurt the Attorney General's credibility. I don't think it's going to matter, but it'd be nice if they get up there and work more than 2 days a week and actually address some real problems in this country that they need to be addressing.
But it's Dagan McDowell. The left-wing liberal illogic down in Washington seems to be the Democrats should start impeachment proceedings in order to then be able to dig up dirt that they could then try to impeach the president with. Because, again, if they're going to try to impeach him for obstruction of justice based on the Mueller report, do you think that they begin impeachment proceedings in the House of Representatives?
I missed a little of that. I lost your audio there for a second.
No,
but if you're asking me,
I can repeat it real quick. The illogic seems to be that they need to begin impeachment proceedings, which would give the House Democrats more ability and greater investigative powers over the White House and the executive branch, so they could do that in order to then try and dig up dirt on the president to try an impeachment. It's the upside-down world of liberal politics.
Yeah, because they got their guy already. Now they have to find the crime. That's not the way we do things in this country. You find a crime, and then you pursue the crime and who committed the crime. That's not what we're doing here.
No, and that's why
they got their guy.
And it's been that way from the beginning. It's been that way from the beginning. You know, they kept saying indictments, they're sealed indictments. They couldn't even tell you what they thought the indictments were going to be about, but they were just sure that indictments were just around the corner.
Right.
They've never been able to articulate a crime that occurred, and I don't think a crime occurred with obstruction. I think it's a ridiculous notion.